Hello and welcome to Analysis. I am Oyi Adekunle. The Nigeria Labour Congress is blowing hot over the alleged maltreatment of its members in Rivers State under the leadership of Governor Nyesom Wike. The union is threatening to halt activities in the state and embark on a peaceful protest on the 8th of September to push their demands. At the same time, the NLC is also displeased with the recent issue of electricity tariff hike and the increase in fuel price to 151 naira 56 kobo. Well, joining me now to discuss these issues is the NLC chairman Ayuba Waba, and he joins us from Abuja. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Now, building from that press briefing you had earlier today, I'd like to ask, what exactly is the disagreement between the NLC national body with the Rivers State government?
Well, thank you very much. It's not only about national, it's the entire workers and pensioners in Rivers State. As I've said during the press briefing, this issue spanned more than 8 months. It started during the negotiation for the minimum wage in Rivers State, where the workers demanded for the new minimum wage. And arising from that minimum wage issue, the government was not comfortable, and they don't want to pay the minimum wage, and therefore they started attacking the unions. First is the fact that you are aware the government went and sealed the NLC State Secretariat under the guise of doing an integrity test. A secretariat that was built by the government and commissioned only a few months, and up till now that secretariat have remained sealed and our property vandalized. To add salt to injury, you are also aware that since he assumed office, no worker that have retired have been paid any benefit.
You're talking about 7 years
no
now.
worker that have retired have been paid any benefit. Yes, it's on record, you can confirm. And no pensioner also that have retired within his period of being in office have been paid. And yes, no pensioner, I repeat, no pensioner that have earned his gratuity in Rivers State. And you know that it's not about the issue of resources, because River is well endowed. So many people that are not from Rivers have benefited from his benevolence, but yet those that he ought to take care of have not been taken care of, and they have remained hungry and on empty stomach. And for merely raising this issue, he adopted the chairman of the Judicial Service Union. I've mentioned his name, Chukuka, and abducted him, arrested him, and took him to government house, detained him in government house for 3 days, and then later charged him to a magistrate court on Trump charges. We are happy that the court released him on bail, but after being released on bail, he was also kidnapped. So we have never imagined that in an era of democracy like the one we are in, that citizens that ought to be protected by the governor will actually be treated in such a manner. To add salt to injury, on the 27th of August, when our State Council executive were having their meeting in a location, he also sent thugs, numbering about 100, to go and disrupt the meeting and also attack our members. Under the military, we have never even experienced such a degeneration of industrial relation. And I think these are part, just a little, about the reasons that have necessitated that organized labor in Nigeria thought that is getting out of hand. And many, many people, including many Nigerians, will never imagine that such a degeneration or such tyranny will actually happen in Rivers State. But clearly it has happened, and we have well documented it. We have shared the document with you, and therefore it's something that we have also shared with him. We have communicated this to him in writing. And up till now, as I'm speaking, there have been no communication. I visited Rivers on 3 occasions, myself and the president of TUC, to engage him. And he has promised to make amends. But as I speak to you, it has not been addressed. Fundamentally, it's also the violation of a core provision of the trade union. He thought by the withholding the deduction of check-off dues, that is the legitimate funding process of unions, as provided in Section 17A of the Trade Union Act, he will be killing the union. He has violated that law with impunity. And therefore, those are some of the issues that we think we should be able to put it in public domain and engage him in a manner that people will know the true person that he is.
Mr. Waba, you've talked about trumped-up charges against the union leader in Rivers State. You've talked about abduction, sending thugs to disrupt your meeting, and so on. Now, these are grave allegations that you can be sued for. Now, do you have proof for these in case the governor decides to take this up in court?
Simple. Simple. This was communicated to him in writing. We have also communicated all the security agencies, the police commissioner in Rivers, the director of state security service in Lagos, the inspector general of police. These are written documentations, and is also contained in the text of my press briefing today. If there is any iota of false in it, he will have responded. I'm telling you that these issues occurred. They are well documented. They have been reported ab initio before now, and those are issues we presented to our Central Working Committee. Central Working Committee means President and General Secretaries of all the 51 unions that constitute the NLC. And everybody have looked at it, including our executives. Executives that are in Rivers, because we have national executive officers that are also from Rivers State extraction. They have actually confirmed those infractions. And so it's not about defense. I've said in writing, we communicated to him. So what are you talking about? We have communicated to security agencies. So what are you talking about? The state council wrote to him. What has happened? Are you saying that the person, the judicial chairman that was abducted, taken to Government House, where I called the police commissioner there to say this is what happened, and the police commissioner said no, it is not his, the police that carried out that action are not from the police headquarters, that they are the personal aides to the governor that actually carried. Are you telling me that I should be so naive at my level to be quoting information that are not true? So the fact is that these are real issues happening, and many people will not imagine that these issues are happening under a democratic dispensation and under a governor that tried to christen himself as champion of the masses.
And so if we're to take your word for it, it means that it will be very hard to imagine what workers are going through in that state.
I said workers are having a hell. In fact, nobody dares to utter a word. You will be under threat, serious threat. I told you workers were meeting as provided in the law, in our status, and he sent talks. The leader of that talks was a councillor in charge of Ward 7. We wrote to him officially. The councillor said he has orders from above. So what are you talking about? We have degenerated to the level that nobody will have imagined, and that's why we are putting it before the public.
And the workers must be looking up to you now. Like, what are you going to, you as a national body now, what are you doing to address these challenges at the national level?
Yes, thank you very much. Not only the workers are looking onto us, all our structures are already charged. All the workers in Rivers have also reported to their national unions. All our 54 unions, from Nupeng to Pengasan to TUC, all the workers are already aware, and all their unions are aware, and they are charged. And that's why we said we have earmarked the 8th of September for a day of action to tell the entire world what is happening. And we have also said, because he has threatened to attack us, that we are ready to be attacked. And that will further expose him, that he is the father of Togri in Nigerian politics today. So we are ready for him. Somebody dies once, but you must be able to stand on the truth. And you must defend what is right. And that is what we are going to do. We'll be there, live and direct.
All right, before I let you go now, we cannot just dwell on this particular development. You must be actually one of the most troubled NLC leaders in recent times. Under your leadership, the pump price of petrol has been increased like 3 times, and electricity tariff has also been jacked up. Let me just ask you now. Of course, we know you are still meeting your bodies to reach a decision. What's your take on these latest developments?
Well, it has been a continuous process of exploitation. The issue of increase in price of petroleum product dates back to more than 20 years. But I think the difference between this and what used to happen is the quick succession and the fact also that Nigerians have been taken for a ride. So nobody will be happy in such a situation because on daily basis, Nigerians are becoming more and more poorer. That is what it means. If you cannot be able to take care of your bills, if you cannot be able to have a decent life, especially workers, if you have been pushed to the edge, then certainly you cannot be happy. And no Nigerian will be happy with such a situation. And that's the situation we are in because we try to ensure that workers are able to have decent way of life. They should be able to pay their bills. They should at least have 3 meals on their table per day. But now many cannot even boast of 1 meal per day, including yourself. Because with the high cost of services, including transportation, it makes life difficult and unbearable for everybody, including all of us. So this is the situation. And that's why crime will continue to be on the increase. Because if you cannot pay your bill, especially youth, that are unemployed, then the other alternative, if their parents cannot be able to take care of them, then the other alternative is to actually do the obvious, which is happening, and that's why crime is on the increase. So we are a bit worried that we are really at the precipice, and we need to do the needful. And that's why I said our organs will actually meet to also try to provide a defense for the vulnerable Nigerians, including workers that have no voice and have no means of defense except the unions. And that's why they want to undermine the unions and kill the unions, because they don't want the unions actually to speak for the people. Certainly, we are going to provide leadership as usual, but Nigerians should be ready to also defend their right and interest. Once we make the call, including you should be the first person on the street. You don't say, no, my money, my bank account, no. Everybody should be ready to defend his right and interest, and that's what Labour will stand for. So I assure you that after our organ meeting, we'll do the appropriate thing, and we call on all Nigerians to stand up, to do the needful, and protect our destiny and that of the destiny of our children. That's what is expected.
Right, Mr. Ayuba Waba, the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Thank you very much for joining us on Analysis. Well, let's take a short break here, but when we return, College of Education Academic Staff Union members are also threatening strike like the NLC. We'll be right back after this break.